So here's how it started. Megan was up late, the kind of late where the world outside is silent and every shadow in your room feels alive. She lay in bed, scrolling through Snapchat, mindlessly tapping through stories, the blue glow of her phone the only light in the room. Suddenly, her phone buzzed with a new notification, a video from her best friend, Lena. At first, Megan smiled, expecting a funny filter or a late-night meme. But when she opened it, her heart stopped. The video was a shaky, grainy clip of Megan herself, sleeping in her own bed, filmed from the foot of her mattress. The caption read, "You're next." Megan's hands trembled as she called Lena, her mind racing with questions. The phone rang, but all she heard was static, crackling, hissing, almost like someone breathing on the other end. Then, through the static, Lena's voice whispered, barely audible, "It's already in your room." The call dropped, leaving Megan in suffocating silence. Desperate, Megan checked Lena's location on Snap Map. The pin pulsed from an abandoned house on the edge of town, a place they'd always joked about but never dared to visit. Suddenly, Megan's phone began to glitch. The screen flickered, distorting her reflection in the black glass. She glanced at her mirror across the room and saw herself smiling, wide and unnatural, even though her own lips were pressed tight in fear. A cold draft swept through the room. Megan heard the unmistakable sound of breathing, slow, raspy, right behind her. She spun around, but there was nothing. Her phone screen went black, plunging her into darkness. The silence was thick, broken only by the faintest giggle, echoing from her closet. It was a child's laugh, but warped, as if played backward. Heart pounding, Megan grabbed the kitchen knife she kept by her bed, just in case. She crept to the closet, every step heavy, and flung the door open. Nothing. Just empty hangers swaying gently, as if someone had brushed past them. She let out a shaky breath, her body trembling. For a moment, she thought it was over. But then, a coldness crept up her spine. Megan turned back toward her bed and froze. Lying there was a figure with her own face, eyes wide open, mouth sewn shut with thick black thread. The thing's chest rose and fell, as if it were breathing. The knife slipped from Megan's hand, clattering to the floor. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. The figure's head turned, impossibly slow, to look directly at her. Its sewn mouth stretched into a grotesque smile, and Megan felt her own lips twitching, as if invisible threads were pulling them tight. She stumbled backward, out of her room, into the hallway. The lights flickered, casting long, twisted shadows on the walls. She could hear footsteps behind her, soft, dragging, getting closer. Megan locked herself in the bathroom, clutching her dead phone, praying for morning. She listened as the footsteps stopped outside the door. Silence. Then, a single knock. Hours passed. As dawn crept in, Megan's phone flickered back to life, the screen glowing weakly on her bedside table. There was a new snap, sent from her account. Megan's hands shook as she opened it. The video showed her own lifeless body sprawled across her bed, eyes staring, mouth sewn shut. The caption, "You're next." And somewhere, just beneath the sound of her own panicked breathing, Megan could still hear that faint, twisted giggle echoing from the shadows, promising she was never alone. 4 friends, Alex, Jenna, Marcus, and Mia, are just messing around, killing time on a stormy Friday night. The rain taps against the window, thunder rumbling in the distance, but inside, the only light comes from their phones. They're sprawled across the bed and floor, faces lit up by the blue glow of their screens, laughter echoing as they scroll through their group chat. They're sharing memes, inside jokes, and embarrassing photos from earlier that week. The group chat is alive with notifications, each ping making them laugh harder. It's the kind of night where nothing feels serious until it does. Out of nowhere, a new message appears. It's a blurry, distorted photo. Someone, or something, with hollow, pitch-black eyes staring straight into the camera. The image is so unsettling that the laughter dies instantly. No one admits to sending it. The chat goes silent for a moment, everyone glancing at each other, waiting for someone to confess. Then, a notification pops up. A fifth member has joined the chat. The username is just user unknown. No profile picture, no info. The friends start accusing each other of playing a prank, but everyone swears they didn't do it. The tension in the room thickens, the storm outside growing louder. Suddenly, Alex's phone buzzes. He's received a snap of himself, bleeding out in a car crash. The image is graphic, blood smeared across the window, his own terrified face staring back at him. He laughs it off, saying it's a sick joke, but his hands are shaking. The others try to reassure him, but the mood is ruined. That night, Alex leaves early, driving home through the rain. Hours later, the group gets a news alert. Alex has died in a car accident, just like in the snap. The next day, Jenna gets a video message. It's her, struggling underwater in a bathtub, gasping for air. She's so freaked out she refuses to take a bath, sticking to quick showers. But paranoia sets in. She starts seeing shadows in the corners of her bathroom, hearing water running when the taps are off. That night, her parents find her unconscious, face down in the bathroom sink, water overflowing. She never wakes up. Marcus is next. He's alone in his room when he gets a snap, a selfie of himself, but there's a shadowy figure looming behind him, its hand reaching out from the mirror. He spins around. Nothing's there. He tries to leave, but his phone starts recording a live snap on its own. The last thing anyone sees is Marcus being dragged, screaming into the mirror by invisible hands. His room is found empty, the mirror cracked, his phone lying on the floor, still recording. Now Mia's the last one left. She's barely slept, jumping at every sound. Her phone buzzes with a new snap, a photo of her own body hanging from the ceiling, eyes wide open in terror. She drops the phone, heart pounding, and starts to cry. Mia barricades herself in her bedroom, pushing furniture against the door. She turns off all the lights, clutching her phone, watching the group chat in horror as user unknown sends message after message. "You're next. Let me in. It's your turn." Her phone buzzes again. User unknown is calling. Against her better judgment, Mia answers. On the other end, she hears her own voice, but it's twisted, echoing, whispering, "You should have left the chat." The call ends with a burst of static and a chilling laugh that isn't hers. The next morning, the group chat is empty, except for one last snap. It's a photo of all 4 friends, lifeless, with user unknown standing among them, its hollow eyes staring straight through the screen. No one ever figures out who or what joined their chat that night. And if you ever get a request from user unknown, whatever you do, don't accept. Ryan stumbles across a mysterious new Snapchat filter called See the Truth. It's not trending, not even listed in the app's filter gallery, but it's there, waiting for him, almost as if it appeared just for him. When he tries it, his reflection blinks on its own, which is, not supposed to happen. The room feels colder, and the air thickens with a strange tension. Pretty soon, the filter starts activating by itself, showing his reflection smiling, crying, or even screaming when he's just sitting there. Sometimes, the reflection's mouth moves, whispering words Ryan can't quite hear. His friends say they don't see any filter in his snaps, just him, staring blankly. They joke about it, but Ryan's unease grows. One night, his reflection actually steps out of frame in a video. The footage loops, the reflection pacing behind him, just out of sight. He wakes up to find his phone recording him, and there's something in the room. A shadowy figure lingers in the corner, barely visible. but unmistakably there. The filter won't turn off. The icon pulses red, flickering with static. Ryan's own face distorts in the camera. Eyes too wide, smile too sharp. Panicking, Ryan smashes his mirror, but his phone glitches and the filter's still on. The reflection's laughter echoes from the shattered glass. Suddenly, his reflection reaches out from the screen and grabs his wrist, its grip icy cold. His final snap is a warped selfie, his face stretched into a grin with the caption, "Now we switch." The next day, his friends notice Ryan's acting different. His smile never fades, and his eyes never blink. 3 friends, Liam, Sophia, and Noah, are hanging out at a sleepover when they connect to this weird Wi-Fi called Survive Till Dawn. Right away, their phones start recording them without permission. Liam gets a snap of himself sleeping, but he's wide awake watching it. Sophia sees a figure behind her in a snap, but when she turns around, there's nothing there. Noah receives a video of himself being strangled. Then, he suddenly feels invisible hands on his neck. The Wi-Fi name changes to Game Over. Their phones lock them out and start playing a live feed of something moving around the house. They try to leave, but the doors just won't open. Next morning, their phones are found, recording a final group selfie. In the photo, all 3 are smiling way too wide, and there's a 4th distorted face peering between them.
If these stories gave you chills, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends, so you're never alone in the dark.